Hello everyone, and welcome to this stream, the DJI Mini 2 launch and review live stream. Let me guys know if you can hear me in the chat, and if at any time I am too loud, the music's too quiet, there should be some music in the background, then please do let me know in the chat. So awesome to have so many guys in the chat already. This is fantastic. Yes, sounds good. Audio's good. All right. Well, then I guess there is a few things to say. First of all, if you are new to the channel and you don't know who I am, what I'm about, what this channel is about, my name is Felix, and I run the Quadcopter Guide YouTube channel, as you see here. Also the blog. And on the channel, I help you get the most out of your drones and other filmmaking gear. And as a matter of fact, I have been covering the Mavic Mini 2 quite in detail. Well, not really covering it. I get some more rumors and leaks. Rumors and leaks are, of course, very dear to my heart. But I wanted to show you guys a little sneak peek of what's coming on the channel. All right, guys, check this out. All right, a very short sneak peek of what is coming up on the channel. So if you are up to here on DJI Mini 2, the Mavic Mini 2, then don't worry. There is a lot to come on the channel. All right, without further ado, I said on the teaser on the thumbnail that there's some special guests. So let's call the first one now. And that will be... Who do you guys think it is? Let me know in the chat. Alright, let's get the music going again. Alright, here we go. And let's try this. 3, 2, 1. Nope. Wrong one. Here we go. Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Good. How are you, sir?
Very good. Hold on. I gotta do the shuffle.
Yeah, I have to do the little Skype music dance, is it?
All right, everyone, if you don't know who this man is, that is Sean over from Geeksvana. I'll put a link to his channel in the show notes and description afterwards, or Sean, feel free to drop it in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Sean runs the Geeksvana YouTube channel, and he does a lot of very cool kind of news type videos covering current events and that kind of stuff, and also a lot of cool streams. And I was actually a guest on his channel, and Sean and Lib were very kind to me, so make sure you guys check those. You check them out.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Yes, it's it's great to be here. Sorry that everybody that he called it a special guest rather than just a guest. Anyone that's disappointed. But it's great to be here. It's exciting. I know it's. I feel that, as you were saying, even talking about sort of moving on from the Mini 2 even before it's out, yeah. it has been one of those launches, hasn't it? So and DJI, we're watching you. If you do this again next time, if we see someone sneaking out of Best Buy next time, we're on to you this time.
Yes, and you know, if it is a marketing tactic, we'll go into the Best Buy store in a second here. Then you can also choose some stores over here on this side of the world.
Exactly. Yes.
Sean and I want our fair share.
Yeah. I don't mind. I don't mind walking in and pretending I bought it at a Best Buy equivalent. That's not a problem at all.
Wow, the chat is going crazy. A quick shout out to everyone that's in the chat. I see Chris Hope, RC Master, Jackson Moxness, Michelle Ann, hello, Eric, welcome, Jasper I saw, RNH Reviews, River Rakers, Price he's asking. Oh man, all kinds of details about the DJI Mini 2. Sorry if I missed some of you guys' questions in the chat. It's going quite quickly, but let's see what we can get into here. All right. So, what do we know? What we do know, I'm going to pull up some images here. So, Sean, of course, on his channel, had a very nice interview with a nice guy named Manuel.
Indeed.
Could you tell us real quick why him? What makes him special?
Well, basically, Manuel was the first person to put an unboxing onto YouTube of the Mini 2. He found the first one out in the wild, as it were, or certainly the first one that was unboxed on YouTube. And so we reached out to him via one of our viewers, who tracked him down on Facebook, bless them. And we wanted to meet up with him because in our video that we put out reacting to his unboxing, we got a lot of questions, as you can imagine, because this was the first time we knew something was coming like that, but it was the first time that we'd seen a DJI product fully unveiled long before it was due to come out. Even, there wasn't even a teaser out for it this time.
It's so crazy. Best Buy had these things on the shelves, and I still want to know what prompted him to go, because I don't just randomly go.
Yeah, he was already in Best Buy,
okay,
to do something else, and he has the Mini 1, and he was walking past the glass cabinet and he saw Mini 2, and he thought, okay, I've not heard of that before. So he opens up his phone and he looks through Google, and he looks on the DJI website, and all he finds is rumors and leaks, and could it be coming out? Might it be coming out? That type of thing. So then he thinks to himself, okay, I think that shouldn't actually be for sale. So hands his phone to his wife and says, record as much as you can, basically try and get me buying it and that type of thing. And so sure enough, he calls someone over, pulls it out of the cabinet. He's expecting to get stopped at every stage,
right?
Goes to the till, purchases it, and then does his little funny walk out with his wife recording him at the end, as if he's stolen it type thing, which was hilarious. And that was actually because the almost staged part of the beginning, that's what the part that I thought we would perhaps find out through investigation, that perhaps he either works at Best Buy or knows someone at Best Buy.
Right.
And they filmed that intro to try and really get to fool us into thinking he did buy it. But he's shown us the receipt, and in actual fact, straight after our interview, Best Buy contacted him and asked him if he would like to return it, because of course it doesn't work at the moment. So they actually offered to buy it back at the ticket price, of course, to which he refused.
I mean, if you do a little snafu like that, you have to offer just a little bit more, don't you think? I
think so. I think they should have offered him some vouchers or something, and I don't think it would have taken too much, because of course he's only got to walk back in there the following week to buy it again. So
right.
It was interesting. Now the second one turning up on YouTube as well, also through a Best Buy leak, and then lots of stories showing people trying to get them. There was lots of things on Instagram with people showing them in their hands, but they weren't allowed to leave the store. That made me feel, okay, this probably was a Best Buy blunder. Although, it would be a fantastic viral marketing campaign, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, the only problem with that strategy is, that there's all kinds of written agreements between the companies to make sure that things stay under wraps, because a product launch, I mean, imagine if Apple's secrecy and their security is just kind of next level, right? But imagine if some kind of brand new product comes out from Apple and all the specs and details leaked ahead of time. That would kind of take a little bit of the air out of the balloon,
Yeah, which I feel like this has, that's also done that this time. Although if you look at even the videos that came out after the two unboxings that happened on YouTube, the interest level seems to be ridiculously high for this drone. And when I first heard there was going to be a Mini 2, I thought, okay, is it a bit soon? But actually DJI seem to have done their research, because there is a big marketplace waiting to snap that little thing up. So.
For sure. And I mean, obviously, before we go into the reasons why they updated the Mavic Mini, let's take a look at a couple of the screenshots I grabbed from Manuel's video, which is the first kind of DJI Mini 2 in the wild. And here on the front, of course, you can see the camera and the nice little, I don't know, what would you call that? Design touch around the side of the lens, the 4K.
Little emblem there, yeah.
Little emblem.
Yeah.
And in one of the supposedly leaked images, this was more reddish, kind of like the Canon L series of lenses.
I did see that. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, which again was one of the reasons why I wondered. I mean, I'm watching his unboxing, and I'm in my reaction video, I'm picking it apart, because I'm thinking, could this be real? Could that be real?
Right.
But as it went further and further along, I found myself with things like the prop guards, and had all the documentation. I'm thinking, okay, this is an awful lot to fake.
And it's a lot of work to do that too. too.
Yeah, exactly. Although I have seen a fantastic video from another YouTuber where he actually turns his Mavic Mini into the Mavic Mini 1.5, and
he busts out the
the
spray
end.
paint.
Yeah, he actually gets the art paints out and paints the ends of his props, and then he has the 1.5 as he now calls it.
That's
So
funny.
I
Now,
think it's original at least.
in his video, we also got a view at the side of the retail box, and that was the first time we got to look at some of these specs 100% confirmed, because, hey, unless somebody would fake the side of the box, which let's just go ahead and assume that that's not the case, because we know that it's coming, and we know it's a DJI Mini 2. What do we got here? We got under 250 grams. That was feature number 1 of the Mavic Mini, right?
Absolutely.
Still holds true. 31-minute flight time. Okay, that was increased 1 minute. Not a huge difference, but improved. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, line number 3.
Oh,
I don't know who was expecting this. I personally was not. I didn't think it was realistic. OcuSync 2.0 on the new budget DJI drone.
it's incredible, isn't it? It's such a crazy thing to add to such a small machine. It's just to be fair, they probably needed to do that, really,
Right.
to really. I'm not sure the 4K thing, because the 2.7K does upgrade to 4K quite nicely for most amateur flyers.
Right.
But OcuSync. Wow.
I know a lot of people are going to ask if this is a 2, and nope.
Have you drawn a 2 on the side?
Yeah. I'm going to rub right here with an eraser very hard to get rid of that.
I have one back here as well, but this also is a 1, just in case
But I just
anyone
wanted to
spots
show
it
you
in the
that.
background.
I honestly didn't think there was weight left in the shell for anything heavier.
Yeah.
And I just assumed that a system like OcuSync, which is much more powerful than just regular Wi-Fi, I mean, the range is... Yes, you're not going to fly this thing 10 kilometers away from you, okay? That's not the point. The point is, you're going to fly it. You're not going to get interference. You're not going to do a smooth pan. Like sometimes with this thing, at a decent distance, out in the middle of nowhere, no other Wi-Fi hotspots around, you do like a nice pan, and then you get that one little jerk.
Yes.
And you say, was this my thumb on the rudder? Or was it just interference? And then guess what? You're going to have to do it again until it's perfect, because you don't know.
But did they actually add most of the OcuSync technology into the controller? Is that why we've got the Air 2 controller, do you think?
I think that's part of the reason, just because they said, hey, we already have all the molds and everything for this. And, a lot of people kind of also asked for the Mavic Air 2 style remote with the phone kind of on top.
Yes, they did.
So that was interesting. So it's almost like DJI is listening.
Shocking. It's almost like they want to sell us drones.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Of course, the Mavic Air 2 remote also has 2 batteries in the grips, which gives it a very nice weight, very comfortable to hold. Your phone goes in the top, of course, and the antennas are on the top, so you don't obstruct the antennas with your phone. All right, so let's go back here real quick. What else do we got? This 8.5 meters to 10.5 meters per second wind resistance doesn't say very much just on its own, but it is actually increased. I'm not sure if the mini one was level 3 or 4. They didn't really call it that at the time, but I did notice that this was an improvement.
Yes, that's right. They didn't really talk about the wind resistance on the first one very much. But I am hearing from people on the ground who have flown these as testers, because obviously other people are now talking a little bit more openly now that everyone knows it exists. Okay, and apparently the wind resistance is pretty impressive. I've heard the word shock being used a couple of times actually. So
interesting.
Could be exciting.
We've got 3-axis gimbal, of course, which we had on the previous one, which was an improvement over the Spark. Now, because if you remember, the Spark only had a 2-axis gimbal.
Yes.
So, of course, a true 3-axis mechanical gimbal is a big deal. You definitely want that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. We've got panorama mode, quick shots, 4K video. You can't forget from the previous line. We saw that on the lens. That is new to the Mini 2. The original Mavic Mini, of course, only had 2.7K. Now, one of the big things for video mode that has not been confirmed yet, and we're probably minutes away from finding out.
Yes.
I still don't know, is the video bandwidth. This is what is kind of interesting to me. Being a kind of video nut. Video bandwidth is what it's all about. You have to have decent resolution, but if you can't have, you don't need more resolution than 4K. Let's just face it. 4K, even if you don't edit, or if your final footage or video isn't 4K, having the detail is great to be able to crop in. It's essentially like a digital zoom. You can get closer to your objects. But the video bandwidth is what helps you just work on the footage. If you push the colors with color grading, if you want to apply a LUT, which is kind of a lookup table that makes the colors kind of unique and filmic, then it's this video bandwidth that helps you get the detail and not make the footage look terrible after. Exactly.
So no, that is going to be one of the interesting points. I've heard some decent figures being bounced around, but it's until I see it on DJI's little trailer, I'm not gonna believe it yet.
For sure. So. Yeah, I've heard somebody who knows somebody that's a beta tester said it's a variable bandwidth and a 60 megabits per second max. I heard 100. We'll have to see.
I heard the 100 as well, actually, earlier today. But yes,
but I would be shocked if it was 100. Let's just put it that way.
I would be as well, because I'm not sure they need to go to that level for this drone. So
no. So let's take a look here. Another screenshot from Manuel's video. These are the batteries, not black this time.
Yes, a change of color.
Yep.
Interestingly, he from a viewer question, he has actually tried, and he put another video up on his channel of him trying the old batteries in the new drone.
I saw that,
and it did turn on.
It turned on. Now here's the thing:
it didn't make very good flashing lights and things. It didn't look happy.
I think that could have either been because of the battery error or just because he couldn't get his app running. I'm sure Manuel's outside with his Mini 2 right now.
Yes. Well, the second someone sent me the update notice showing that it was on there now, I forwarded that to him on Messenger, and I got a thumbs up back.
Nice,
so I think he was going straight outside to try it.
So here's the deal: these new batteries. First of all, the original Mavic Mini was the first consumer DJI drone that has, lithium-ion based battery cells. What does that mean? Notice how on the original Mini, you can clearly see that there's a rounded edge on these batteries.
Yes.
So if you were to take this plastic apart, and you probably shouldn't because this is very expensive compared to just buying the two cells, you would find two cylindrical cells, and they're lithium-ion 18650 cells. These are very common. In the meantime, I know electronic cigarettes use these. I have been browsing forums for a while to find out what the best battery is for my other drone build and my own battery build. So if you want to see me build a drone battery, I've got that video on the channel as well.
Excellent.
They are good, but they can't offer as much energy. What would you call it? They can't discharge as quickly as a lithium polymer cell.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's why your Mavic Air, your Mavic 2 Pro, your Phantom 4, every consumer drone up to now has had some kind of lithium polymer cell. And those cells are, of course, flatter. And if you take a look at this image, this certainly doesn't look like as rounded on the sides as the old battery does.
No, I think they are lithium, aren't they? I think they have referred back, because again, the power rating, I think, speaks to that.
For sure. And then with the FCC leak, we saw the voltages. And the voltages on these new batteries are higher. They're, I think, 7.7 volts.
That's right.
And these batteries, I believe, are 7.2, if I'm not mistaken. 7.2 nominal voltage. What I'm getting at, if you fly the Mini 2 with these old Mavic Mini batteries, you're not going to get as much power out of them. I would be surprised if the drone takes off with them. I just can't see that happening. One of the ways
I agree.
DJI makes their money is by selling us these batteries. So why would they make two drones work with one? It just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. No, I completely agree with that. And the fact that they've obviously upped the wind resistance, they're going to need to have the power to be able to back all of that up as well. So I think it's good. There does seem to be, overall, there seems to be a lot of improvements. It's I'm excited by it. As I say, when I first heard it, I thought we don't need this, but actually, I kind of want one now.
That's funny. And guys, check out the link in the chat. It is a few minutes early, but I just happened to find something. And I need to do a quick order, guys. Hold on. Sean, you go ahead and do the same if you are.
Oh, excellent. So there she is.
And we will look at it in a second here.
Well, and this is actually when the Mavic Air 2 was coming up. We had a launch party on GeeksFunner for that one, and this is exactly what happened then. Actually, the retail site went live before everything else, which was interesting.
Yeah. My best kept secret. All right. Very cool. All right, sorry about the distraction, guys.
Yeah.
Feel free.
It's as it's happening, so.
Yeah. This is late breaking right here, man. So, we got a couple minutes left here. What I wanted to show is here in the App Store, of course. The DJI Fly app got updated earlier today. And look at that, DJI Mini 2. So, it was the official...
Exciting.
The official confirmation from DJI. Yeah, the main DJI site still has the countdown timer.
Yes, and the overview, when you click overview to go in and have a look at the detail of the actual drone, that still says 404 at the moment.
Okay.
So, certainly the UK version of it does.
Yeah. I've got the American site loaded here. Let's see what we can find out on the store.
One of the things I was interested in was actually the extra bag that you can buy. It kind of looks a little bit modular as well, which was quite interesting.
And I was surprised the price wasn't that outrageous. It was like $35 or $50.
Yeah. £35 for us Brits anyway.
Yeah.
Brits that are watching.
All right, so what do we got here? We've got the single. At this price, I recommend the Fly more, just because if you count up the batteries themselves,
absolutely, yes,
it always makes sense. It always makes sense. But of course, if budgets are tight, then
I mean, you can't argue to have a 4K drone with OcuSync for the UK price of £419. I mean, you cannot argue with that. That is
unbelievable.
It's incredible. This is going to sell like literal hotcakes, as us Brits would say. It's astonishing, really.
All right. And the email subscribers have also been notified. Excellent. All right. Well, we don't see a lot on this page. What comes in the box? Guess we're going to have to hold out overview. What's the difference? So if you take a look here, the standalone combo and the Fly More combo comes with aircraft remote controller. You get 3 batteries and not just one. You get 2 extra sets of propellers, so 3 total, 3 pairs, not complete sets. Know the difference? Spare screws for the propellers, I guess.
Yeah, interesting. A screwdriver, that's always handy.
The propeller holder, that foam thing, I believe, that Manuel had.
Yeah, it actually looked more sort of rubberized plastic, actually.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really good idea, because that's obviously one of the things that people struggled with the first one, and there were so many aftermarket products sold for that to help.
That only comes with the Fly More combo.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then of course the charging hub, which is fantastic because you can. All right, drone batteries. Don't get me on this rant, but people have issues with the batteries. Their batteries swell up, and they complain that the batteries are broken. They have to buy new ones, and they cost a lot of money. A Mavic 2 Pro battery, a Phantom 4 battery, they're expensive. What these batteries don't like is to be stored at a high voltage, at a high charge. Always return these to storage voltage. I will just check out the videos on the channel. This charging hub allows you to have the batteries in it, and it has a USB port. So guess what? You didn't get to fly your battery all the way. There's a little bit more voltage in the batteries than this storage voltage. You can charge your phone. You can charge your remote control backup. You can charge anything with the batteries, and you can kind of recycle that electricity that's in there. So that's great. Of course, the USB charger and the shoulder bag. Very cool.
It is. It's a decent package, and you know, as you were saying, it's worth going for that extra price. One for the batteries, but things like the bag and that type of thing. Actually, you know, the prop holder, and there is actually some real value in there. Which I have to say, their last few combo packs in particular, DJI have done very well with those.
That is also an interesting note. They sell DJI 2 propeller guards. In the fly more of the Mini, they were included. Personally, mine are still in that box because I haven't used them.
Absolutely.
So it makes sense that I can understand why they don't include them. But you could say, you know, hey, that's $19 more that I have to spend. Here's that bag that Sean was talking about. The DJI Mini Bag Plus has this little, I don't even know, what was that, like a weatherproof pouch? Does the drone fit in there?
Oh, I have to say that it comes in different colors as well.
Oh.
That's the black and yellow is a little bit sexy.
Wow.
I have to say.
Interesting, yeah. Kind of bumblebee-ish.
Yeah, it's going to get dirty very quickly, of course. Being thrown around while we're flying it, but it still looks pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, of course, the DJI Care Refresh is kind of DJI's insurance for a very low price. If you lose your drone, crash it, demolish it, you can get a replacement. So if you're worried about first quad, I'm not sure, or you have electronics and they happen to break very often, then consider getting that.
Indeed. although it is worth realizing that you do need a body, so you do need to be able to recover the drone, whereas of course a lot of drone insurance companies separate from DJI, they do offer insurance if the drone is lost completely, which is a help as well. Yep. But it depends on what you think might happen, but I have a feeling with OcuSync, a few of these may get lost in gardens a couple of miles away, frankly.
Or in the ocean.
Yeah. There's a pairing here that I'm worried about a little bit, which is OcuSync and no sensors.
That's right. Yeah, you know, features that people wanted were, surprisingly, OcuSync was feature number one.
Absolutely.
From the comments on my videos, which I guess shouldn't be that surprising. The Wi-Fi ever since the Mavic Air, the original one, just when you're used to Lightbridge and OcuSync, it just doesn't compare.
No, absolutely.
And then, of course, you know, the increased resolution. I'm really excited to find out what they did besides just giving us 4K, and we're going to find that out in a minute here.
We're going to find out literally in a minute, which is very exciting. We should have a little drum roll here in the background. I'm not a very good drummer though.
I have to go to Epidemic Sound and download the drum roll.
Indeed. Good old Epidemic Sound. It was interesting marketing that they did as well, wasn't it? Having the three guys holding the paper plane, because that did confuse a few people.
Yeah, and supposedly the paper plane was the manual, or a page of the manual of the original Mavic Mini. All right, let's see. Refreshing DJI here.
Indeed.
Nothing yet. Yep, still the countdown timer.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Let's see if the 404 page is working again yet. Nope, that's the detail view of the product still not working as well, which is exciting. So who in the chat is thinking of actually buying one of these? It'd be interesting to see. Cause,
let us know in the chat if you're
a good amount of people watching.
If you're upgrading, or if this is your first drone, let me know. I would be interested to find out.
Unless we're, of course, about to watch the launch of the DJI Paper Aeroplane. That would be good fun. I would kind of love them to troll us a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, here we go. The premiere countdown is now started.
Okay.
Very
here it is.
exciting.
If you update DJI.com, you can see the product page. So if you go to the top left from the store, you can also get there. Where is it? I just saw it. Did I miss it?
Oh, yep. No, the overview page is now working as well.
Yep.
Very exciting.
All right. Going to dive into the specs and all this stuff in a second here. Oh, Sean, the time flies.
It's incredible, isn't it?
I had a feeling it was going to be too short, but it is so late that I can't just ask you to stay up till 2-3 a.m. So
hey, I'm always around. But you have somebody else coming on, don't you?
Yes, so we have got the next special guest coming up. You guys will want to stick around for this. Sean, thank you for being here. You're
Thank
a gentleman and a scholar.
That was a good British accent. Well done.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone in the chat. It's been great hanging out with you,
Yes,
and
yes.
I look forward to seeing all of your creations on your respective channels with your
For
new
sure,
Mini
with
2s.
the new DJI Mini 2 if you're getting one, and if you have a Mavic Mini and you're happy with it, with that as well.
Exactly. Wonderful.
All right.
Good luck.
I'm going to have you back soon. We should do this way more often. Thank
Definitely.
you for being here. Guys, check out Geeksvana on YouTube.
Thank you. Cheers, Felix. Bye.
Until next time. Bye. All right. That worked pretty well. Thank you. Sure. All right, we're gonna call up our next special guest here. All right, all right. And by the click of this button, he should be here.
Click of a button by the power of Grayskull. How's it going?
Hey, Kelly, how's it going, man?
Hold on, I've got multiple things going. Okay, now it's just you. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. Hold on. I wanted to do that thing you were talking about. Could you type something in the chat real quick so I've got your
Yes.
Your
yes.
username?
So let me just say hello in the chat. Hello,
Yes.
everybody. Good to see everyone. Boy, you got a good crowd here tonight.
I know, this is amazing. This is fantastic. If you don't know who this gentleman is, this is Kelly from Ready Set Drone. You should know who
Dude,
he
and
is.
I am so excited about the Spark. I mean, it is. Let me tell you, it's got, okay, I can talk about it now. It's got a 1080p camera. It has like 17 minutes of flight time. 16 and a half. It's got a 2-axis gimbal. Everybody's going to love it.
And it sounds like a swarm of bees.
It does, yeah, the Spark. It sparks and swarms of bees.
Yeah, so Kelly runs the Ready Set Drone channel, and
It's been a while.
you can talk about it now, right?
Yeah, dude, my video is out there, out in the ether.
All right.
I've been watching you for about 30 minutes, and so
cool.
I also can answer some of those questions. I have a spec sheet right here. It is, you were asking about the bit rate for the
Yes,
video.
the video
It's
bit rate. Tell us.
100 megabits per second.
Wow.
So you were right, or Sean was right.
Wow, 100 megabits per second. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah,
so here's Kelly.
I mean, if you want to, I won't copyright strike you if you want to bring my video up and just play a little bit of the video from it.
Sure, sure.
It's and this is all straight off of the camera. You can just mute it. Just, I don't know, can you mute it and
Yeah.
just play some of the footage? Yeah, and my video actually took a little inspiration from you. The cinematic.
I
tried
like
to get
it.
more cinematic this time.
All right, so let's see here. Ready, set, drone, and I'll switch it to the browser in a second here.
Yeah, Geeksvana, you really, it really, in my opinion, if you already own a Mavic 2 Pro or Zoom, then, or even a Mavic Air 2, I don't know that this is worthwhile. But if you don't own any of those, if you own a Spark or if you own the original Mini, this is such a huge upgrade from the Mini. I've been flying both of them together just to kind of get a comparison, and I've really seen the difference. One thing that people will find interesting, I'll talk while you're figuring stuff out.
Sure. Do you want me to start playing it while you talk, or do you want to show us something real quick?
Let me just show you this real quick, because this is actually something I don't mention in my video. This is probably one of the first. So there's that little strap you were talking about.
Yeah, the propeller strap.
It is rubber. It does go on there really well. But here's something really cool. This is the new battery.
Yep.
And this is the original Mini battery, and it works. I've flown with it.
No way, they allow you to fly with it too.
They do. So you can fly with the original battery. It doesn't. So here's the weird thing. I actually haven't weighed it, but it actually weighs a bit more than the new battery. So it puts the drone over the 250 mark when you put the old battery in. Or
I think that's one of the reasons they went with the lithium polymer this time around.
Yeah, this thing is definitely lighter and gives you a minute more flight time. But here's the other thing. This lithium polymer won't fit in the original Mavic.
Right.
So the Mavic or the Mini 2 will take the old battery, but the original won't.
Right. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they allow it to fly with the old, but I guess it makes sense as long as there's enough juice in there to get it to fly.
I'll tell you that made me so happy because I really do. I mean, I feel like batteries shouldn't become obsolete the moment a new drone comes out. I feel like you should give them, especially when it's in the same family. You know, these being very similar in shape. I really applaud them. It's funny because I originally tried to put this one into the original and it didn't fit. So I thought I thought there wasn't any cross compatibility. So then I tried putting this one in here. And I did not push the button. I actually contacted my contact and said, "Hey,
before I do
this, before I blow this thing up, will it work?" And he said yes. And so
wow, okay. So they said it would work. So that means it was actually a feature, and it wasn't just it happens to work.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's designed so that it's brilliant. Actually, it's designed so that the old one will fit in the new Mini, but the new battery won't fit in the old one. Which actually, that's pretty incredible when you think about it.
It's kind of like at the gas stations, the diesel nozzle is fatter than the gasoline, so you can't put diesel in your car.
Right.
They hope that the diesel drivers won't put regular gas in there.
But they could, right? Or they can't.
You know, that's one of those things I haven't tried, but I think the diesel, at least over here, the diesel ones are kind of fatter than the gasoline, so I think you could put gasoline in the diesel.
That's the same.
Yeah.
You still driving the Volkswagen?
Yep, it's still kicking, luckily.
Nice.
All right, so let's take a look at Kelly's video here. I'm gonna run it muted.
Yeah, that's perfect. I don't want to hear. I've heard it about 5,000 times. Today.
the joys of editing. Here we go.
Right. Hey, I see Chris from Sunrise Water Media in the house.
Chris Hope is also here.
Hey, Chris Hope in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, this was my my cinematic stuff.
Nice.
I got a turntable and a electric slider finally. So
okay, so the top of the motor also looks very interesting. There's less supports and those stators look larger.
Yeah, that's a great question. Let me get them side by side. Yeah, there's a good close up of it.
Yeah, you've got both of them right there. Oh yeah, I know that park. I've seen that park before. Let's put it that way. The LED bar in the front is also very interesting.
Yeah, I guess that is. Hold on, where's the old guy? Here it is. Yeah, there is no LED in the front of the. Hey,
that footage looks pretty good.
Yeah, it really does. Incredible. There's a few points. Okay, so one thing you can also do in the app is you can 2x zoom. So there's a 1x and 2x kind of. Okay,
so there is digital. That was one of the questions. Excellent.
Yeah, there is a digital zoom. A couple of shots in this video, I actually was zoomed in and I don't note it, but particularly it was one shot where I was trying to make it look like I was closer to the trees than I really was. Oh, thank you, Sean, about the thumbnail. I appreciate that. I was really happy with it too. I don't normally do that great with thumbnails, so I was happy with this one. But I was trying to make it look like I was closer to the trees than I actually was, just for the kind of drama of it. So I had it digitally zoomed in, and it was funny when I came back and looked at the actual video. It was a lot more grainy. Like you could see the pixelation from the digital zoom. So it's a 2x. Eric Boff is asking. It's a 2x zoom. I mean, at least that's what. Yeah, that. Unless I've missed something, it's a 2x zoom.
Very cool. Yeah, loving that Mavic Air 2 style remote.
Yeah, it's and so one thing I haven't tried that I'm actually going to try is I actually want to see if I can bind the Mavic if that remote will work with both. You know what I mean?
Yeah, physically they look exactly the same. Now, interestingly, the Mavic Air 2 remote has white LEDs for the status LEDs, and the Mini 2 has green status LEDs.
Ah, okay. So there's an easy way to tell them apart.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's why they did it, or if the internals aren't the same.
I don't know. That's something I actually. So, do you ever watch Flight Path, Aldrin?
Yeah.
So I got to say, when the Mavic Mini came out, I made one video about it, and I didn't really follow on with too many other videos. And Aldrin did a video like every 2 days about that thing. So that's kind of going to be my strategy with this. I've already thought up a whole bunch of other other ideas, but one of them would be things to try, like for instance, seeing if I can get the Mavic Air 2 remote to bind with it.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
Of course, the big question, do you have any official information regarding smart controller support?
I do, yep. So the official information I was given is it is possible. Technically it's possible. It would require some coding. They have not done it, but they said it's not off the table. So
very cool.
It sounds like that might be something that they don't prioritize in terms of getting the drone out quickly.
Of course.
Because I mean, what did it take them with the Air 2? About 6 months?
Officially, it was supposed to be 2 weeks after launch, and it took them a little while. Yeah.
It was more like 2 months at least.
Yeah. But look,
anyway,
this is the new entry level drone for DJI, right? The smart controller itself costs more than there was a crash.
Yeah, there's 2 crashes actually.
Okay, sorry, I got distracted by the crash. You have to let us know how it fared with that. But the smart controller.
Absolutely. I crashed it about midway through my process of shooting this video.
Oh no!
And so there's tons of footage after the crash.
Right.
So it actually did pretty well. I talk about that in the video.
I crashed my Mavic Air 2 at the pre-release shooting as well. I was a little upset.
Yeah. I don't remember which one it was. I think it might have been the Mavic 2 Zoom when I got that. And they sent it to me with 1 battery and no extra props. And, I'm not going to complain about it getting a pre-release, but it was first of all, 1 battery, it's basically go out and shoot and then go recharge and go shoot and recharge.
I know that.
I was so worried about breaking a prop. I was like, man, if I break 1 prop, I'm pretty much done.
Man, you've got footage up the wazoo on this video. Nice work.
Yeah, I got it around the 10th, 12th of October, something like that.
Oh, wow. You actually got some time.
A little bit of time, yeah.
There's nothing like it. I won't say anything. That's fine.
Well,
we are grateful for every day.
How long did you have with the Air 2?
That one wasn't too bad. I think it was a week and a half, 2 weeks maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember
there's something about a deadline that kind of makes you, forces you to go find interesting stuff
for sure.
Yeah, the flag shots in this, I wasn't trying to be overly patriotic, but there's a big flag in front of my office. A lot of this stuff is right around my office, like all this art. There's this little art installations around.
Yeah.
And the flag was just really pretty. I went outside.
With that wind, that is great.
But you asked about wind. There's quite a few shots. Part of the reason I like showing a flag too is so you get a sense of how much wind there is.
Right.
And so that was part of it, is I wanted to demonstrate how much wind there was.
Now, let us know in the chat if that was 3 Beauforts or 4 Beauforts of wind.
How many Beauforts? Tell us. So what's been going on with you? I mean, have you guys been paying attention to our chaos over here with the election and everything?
Yeah, I was up till, don't want to get too political, but I was up till 2 a.m. trying to see what we can see. But of course, I knew that it wasn't going to show you who's going to win or whatever. So
it'd be way too simple if that was the case.
Yeah. But we did vote.
How are Corona things over there?
We're back. Let me show our faces. I'll pause this and maybe return back to it. So in Germany, they have now the new lockdown light. So it's not complete lockdown like initially. We can still meet with one other family, maximum 10 people. So that's kind of nice. You're not kind of a shut-in,
Yeah.
And they're going to see every 2 weeks how it goes from there.
And so before, when you were under the original like full-on lockdown, it was a lot more.
Yeah, you couldn't see anyone. The only way you could leave your your home was to go shopping or to work if you had to go to work, and then from work you had to have a paper saying, yes, I have to go to work. I can't do it from home.
Wow. And that could be from any office or like any business, or did it have to be essential businesses only?
It could be any business, I think. But
okay.
Of course, the businesses had to clarify with the health department, why they needed how many people, and they had to have health concepts of how to ensure that the employees stay 2 meters away and all that stuff.
Wow. Yeah, it's funny because for us, and kids were home from school, definitely that, and a lot less traffic. I have a pretty big space. I mean, if you watched Spin Up, which I know you did, there was a lot of space
that was nice,
at our
yeah.
office. We have pretty small staff, and so I've pretty much gone in the entire time with some rules put in place, and now we have clients coming in to shoot. And I think part of the reason they like to shoot in our studio is because they actually can get in, and we do have pretty good protocols in place. Everybody feels good about it,
Nice.
So yeah.
Nice.
But I've heard that we're about 2 weeks behind Europe, or 3 weeks behind Europe, and so what's happening over there is going to happen to us soon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the number of cases will probably be similar. It's just let's see if there's a different way to deal with it over there.
Yeah. Well, so Jason Phillips is asking if the Mavic Mini battery is interchangeable with the Mavic with the Mini 2. The answer, we were talking about this earlier, is you can put the old battery in the new quad drone. You can't put the new battery in the old drone. And I think you were saying, Felix, that this is partly because this is now a lithium or a lithium ion instead of a lithium polymer.
So the Mavic Mini 1 is lithium ion, and the Mini 2 is lithium polymer, and it's actually a lithium polymer high voltage cell, so it's not just regular lithium polymer.
Okay. So basically, you might fry the old one with the new battery, but the new one can take it.
Yes, if you could mash it in there, that would be a risk. If you put the old Mavic Mini battery into the new DJI Mini 2, then in sport mode, you might notice that you don't get the same kind of power as you would with a new Mini 2 battery, and that's just because of the output.
I observed that.
Okay.
So this one. This one is also heavier than this one.
You.
Even
Go ahead.
Even though this one's bigger.
Yep.
They're asking about quick shots. So it has all of them except asteroid, basically. So it has boomerang, rocket, droney, helix.
The Felix
Which
helix.
one am I missing? What's that?
The Felix helix.
The Felix helix. So the only one it doesn't have is asteroid, I believe, from the old one. So they've added because the original didn't have boomerang. I'm not sure why, but
interesting.
Seems like if it can do all that other stuff, it could do boomerang too. But
for sure.
Felix helix.
Yeah, that was in my Mavic Air 2 review. The Felix helix.
Jason Phillips is asking about buying in South Africa. I would think you could buy it from the DJI store from just about anywhere, right?
Yeah, there's only very few limited countries that DJI won't ship to you, so go ahead and check them out.
Yeah, I imagine US will be on that list pretty soon. At some point. Oh, Circle. Kenny Gervin says Circle. That's the one I was forgetting. One of the most but what it doesn't have is it doesn't have active track. So
yes.
Even though you can do the quick shots, you can't do the active track stuff. So that's one of the things you're giving up.
So with the quick shots, if you're in a park with a lot of trees, there is a risk of it hitting a tree.
Correct. Yeah, you want to be in a very clear area because it doesn't have sensors. As you saw in my video, I crashed it a couple times going forward. Isque Jesus asked if it shoots pictures in RAW. Yes, it does shoot RAW photos, and I've edited them. They look very good, and it does shoot panoramas. And actually, those look really cool too. And,
wow.
And I also covered those in the video.
Guys, OcuSync 2.0. The Mavic Air 2 remote 4K video at 100 megabits per second, raw photos. It sounds like we're talking about a Mavic Air.
I heard you saying a few minutes ago about how you'll get that moment of hesitation with the Mavic Mini. Mm-hmm. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like you're like doing a nice, and then where'd it go? And you lose your. Yeah. You don't get that.
You're out of the flow, and sure, the battery life is good, but if you're out of the flow, you got to redo it, and then you don't want that. You don't want that.
Michelle Ann asked if we can expect active track. I don't think so. I really doubt they would put active track. The only thing that I would expect them to add to this would be, again, possibly compatibility with the DJI Smart Controller.
Yeah. For active track to work, you have to have hardware. And that's why you can't just push it with a software update. You have to have those obstacle avoidance sensors, and the Mini 2 does not have those.
Manual photo exposure change. Yes, that does have. You can go up and down with the exposure, like plus and minus.
Mm-hmm.
And then it also has manual photo settings, where you can change things manually in the photo. To be honest, actually, I think I was flying in auto the whole time for all those shots. Okay, so and then Dom J asked about it being wind. So again, in my video, there are a lot of shots of it in high wind with a flag. There's a really, really big flag, like the size of bigger than a car in the front of my building at my office, like larger than a large truck. Honestly, I mean,
That's
it's one of these
funny.
huge flags.
Texas.
And so, yeah, no, well, it's a U.S. flag, but yeah, that is Texas for you.
Yeah.
And so you can see that thing really blowing, and I was flying right next to it. You can see how steady it was. You can actually see a little bit of motion because I was really close to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kenny Gervin says 4K 2x, 2.73x, full HD 4x. Okay, that
Those
makes
are the
sense.
zoom modes. Okay.
Yeah, so I was only shooting in 4K, so that's why I only got 2x. So thank you, Kenny, for that update. Somebody else asked about.
Did you weigh it?
Yeah. Here's. Let me go get a scale. Hold on, let me go get a scale.
Yeah.
I want
to know if it's
This actually
between
blew my mind. I'll be right
242
back.
or 249. Oh man, so glad that Kelly's on the stream, guys. Make sure you guys check out his channel, Ready Set Drone, and watch that DJI Mini 2 review in full detail with sound, and you get his full take on it. 242 grams, Eric's laughing. Yeah, so if you look at the side of the box, do I have that picture pulled up? In the fine print, it actually says that the Mini can weigh down to 242 grams, and certain specimens weighed more or less. So I'm very interested to see what it weighs.
So thank you, Eric, for the kind words, as well as Chris. So I want to show you putting the battery in, right? Close that. It's got the props on it. It's got, I'll take the gimbal guard off, just to be fair.
Yep.
And I didn't include this in my video because I didn't think people would believe me, but...
Okay, hold on.
Let me see.
In the chat,
Let me see
guys,
if I can-
how much do you think the DJI Mini 2 weighs?
All right. Here
Everybody
we go.
put it in.
Turn on the scale. Can you see that?
It is resetting, yep.
Okay, it's 0. You can see it at 0.
Yep.
And it's in grams.
In grams. Uh-huh. What?
I know.
Show the drone. Everything's on it.
Everything's on it. Battery's in it.
Wow.
237.
Okay,
So
take
that
out-
means if you have one of these, the creative kit,
yeah,
and you put it on there, it doesn't go overweight.
even with the paper backing.
How do you like my creative kit art?
Don't fly alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. All right, so
Anyway.
put it on there with the
So-
old battery. I wonder. Oh
I
man.
actually didn't put that in my. I didn't put that in my review because I thought I'd get, like, somebody would say your scale doesn't work or something.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know about that. This, to be off by like 10 grams. Okay, this is the old battery.
Yep.
Let's try this. So this is the old battery, which does work with it.
Mm-hmm.
It does fit. So there, now it's in. It also has an SD card in it too. Just FYI.
Very
All right,
good.
so it is. I'll reset this. All right, just turned it off and then back on. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right, it's resetting. It's calibrating. You see the 0?
0 grams. DJI Mini 2 with the old battery. Uh-huh.
257.
Wow.
Wow, I feel like I'm giving you all the good stuff here, Felix. This is like groundbreaking.
This is
Okay,
the
so
first.
here-
I need to
Here's
rename
what
the
we're gonna
stream.
do. We're gonna weigh the original battery against the new one. All right.
While you were
So,
getting the
again-
scale, I plugged your channel heavily, so that's good.
Back at 0. Yeah. No, I know you do, and I appreciate it. All right. So the original battery is 98. Can you see it?
That's insane.
Okay. Now the new battery. So that's almost half the weight right there.
Yeah.
79.
Wow.
New battery.
Wow.
So that is That is 19 grams less. Is that right?
Yeah, 19 pennies.
Wow.
Was it 19?
I mean, you can feel the difference between
Yeah.
them. So.
And 1 minute longer flight time, so that's why they didn't go with lithium ion, because they just wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, just pretty cool stuff that it's also again, just the compatibility is great for me, because here's the other thing too is even weighs less, it's more wind resistant. So Sunrise Water Media is asking, according to DJI, it is actually from a level 3 to a level 4, which I don't know exactly what that means in terms of wind resistance.
Mm-hmm.
But I flew the original Mavic Mini in Galveston, Texas, which is on the coast, and it was very windy on the coast, and it did fine. And then I flew this one a couple of times on windy days. Again, you could see the flags and stuff, and it did fine too. So yeah, more powerful motors.
Hey, Sunrise Sunrise Water Media is asking, would you weigh the Mini 1?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Good. With
the Mini 1.
Let's weigh them both without batteries.
Sure.
Real quick, huh?
I should have started writing these things down. I have to rewatch this later.
Who knew we could have so much fun with a scale? So here's the Mini one. Here's the original Mavic Mini.
Oh, that 0.5 gram sticker, Kelly. I don't know.
So that's 154.
154, yeah.
Without the battery.
Yep.
And then the new one. So I'm going to guess the new one actually probably weighs more. It feels like it weighs more without a battery. Nope. 150. 158.
3 grams more.
Without the battery. And then you add the battery to the new one. And again, there's the thing that blows my mind.
237.
237.
So again, I wonder how much their propeller guards weigh. If they're super light, you could still be under 250.
And then there goes my mic. Sorry.
No worries.
And then the new one, or the old one, with the old battery. Now that's saying 253, 252, but now that one, it does have a sticker. Oh, you know what? It's got this one has the
gimbal guard.
Gimbal guard. 248 with the battery.
That's the Mini 1.
Yeah. Crazy. And also, the new one is not called the Mavic.
Right.
It's not, they were pretty express about it. It's not called the Mavic.
It's the DJI Mini 2.
DJI Mini 2.
Well,
yep.
Then I can't wait for the DJI Pro 3.
Yeah, I kind of wonder why they dropped Mavic from it, because Mavic's pretty. Maybe it was just too much of a mouthful. I don't know.
Yeah, with the Osmo bulbs, the OM4 with the Ronin, the RS.
Jason Phillips is asking if both these batteries are charged. Does charging them make a difference in the weight, do you think?
I don't think on that scale you would notice a difference. Maybe if you had a... That is a good question. I wouldn't assume so.
They are not. Actually, I flew both of these yesterday, and I haven't recharged them. So both these batteries are pretty close to dead, I think. I believe.
Do the motors look different if you look at both of those?
Yeah, let's...
It looks like the kind of cross supports on top of the motor on the two, there's one thing going across.
Can you see that pretty well?
Yeah, and then on the old one there's like quadrants. There's 4 quarters. I bet you that the motors got changed out. I think the motors on the Mini 2 are more powerful than on the old Mavic Mini.
Yeah, I mean they look the same to me, but
okay.
I don't have the technical eye that you have.
The OCD.
Yeah, the OCD technical eye. I was going to show you something else on the motors, or I can't remember what it was. Do you want to see the bag? Here's the bag.
It looks like the almost
it looks
like
very much like the
Mavic airbag.
Yeah. Has a little zipper pocket up here, and it did come with a charger. I will say too, I didn't realize this for a while, but whenever a DJI product comes with one of these, it typically charges a lot faster than if you're using not the one that it came with.
They have a quick charge 3.0 or power delivery.
This is kind of cool. The propellers look like
yeah,
candy.
they look like little candy.
Yeah, and then I actually really kind of dig the little orange stripes on the end of the props.
Yeah, so when you're hovering, you can. It's actually kind of like a warning circle. Don't put your fingers in there.
Right. Well, you know what? Honestly, you can. I've put my finger in the Mavic Mini before. It
oh,
does
really?
not. It feels about like, you know, somebody thumping you like that.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what else is in here. And they also send you this. I actually did break a prop. They do send you this handy little screwdriver. So that crash shot, I think it was the one where I hit the tree. I broke a prop on that one. Basically just chipped.
They are super thin, so if you do hit something hard fast, then they splinter.
Yeah. It just basically, I don't know where the broken one is, but it just basically, you know, chopped off like probably the 20% of the end.
Yeah,
so.
once you lose that much of the prop, it's time to replace it.
Yeah. So all you folks out there that are watching and gonna buy tonight, you know, if you want to help us out, you could definitely buy from Felix or from me.
For sure. And guys, make sure you guys bookmark this video right here. Everybody go to the chat and bookmark Kelly's review, and make sure you guys watch that with a nice drink later on after the stream.
Thank you. Actually, I appreciate that.
No worries, man.
Is it louder than? Great question, Eric.
Oh yeah, the noise.
So it is not. It is actually a lower pitch sound. So I didn't include that in my video either. I'm definitely going to do a second video. As I said, I didn't want to put everything out in the first one, but I'm just telling you guys, it's a lower pitch sound than the first one. So I will record both. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will do that, but it's noticeable. It's the original one is more of a zzz. This one's more of a zzz.
Very good.
Demonstrate. More of a baritone.
So you noticed a difference in the video quality, obviously because of the resolution and the increased video bandwidth. It's crazy. The Mavic Air 2 in its peak has 120 megabits per second, but the original Mavic Pro, the high-end Mavic Pro, has 100 megabits per second.
Yeah. No, but also you wonder, you know, at what point, first of all, does 100 versus 120, how many people can really see the difference?
Right, no. I think the 120 is just for like the HDR or one of those things. And
then number two is the camera quality is, you know, the 1-inch sensor versus the smaller sensor. But I mean, quite honestly, the 2.7K on the original Mavic Mini was good. It just isn't, it just isn't 4K. So you'd have to stretch it. Somebody asked about obstacle avoidance. Robert asked about obstacle avoidance. No, it does not have it. If you go watch my video, you'll see me crashing into stuff, so you'll know.
Yeah, make sure you check out his video, linked above.
Yes, thank you. Isque Jesus said, comparing the price, would you go for Mini or Air? Funny you should say that. I'm making a whole video around that particular topic. I feel like comparing the original Mavic Mini to the new Mini 2 is not even a fair comparison.
That's crazy right there.
The Air and the Mini 2 are going to be a good comparison. So I'll make a video about it. There's lots of things to consider. If you can afford to get the Air 2, I'd probably get the Air 2. But it kind of depends on what you want to do and what's important to you. Is portability important to you? I mean, it is way smaller and lighter than the Air 2. Right.
That also, of course, has its pros and cons. Mini you can carry around everywhere a little bit easier, but physics. The more weight you have in the air, the better against gusts and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, although I really have to say it does do a great job. Mini 2 or fly combo. I mean, I'm always a fan of the fly more combo. And you know what? Eric brought up a good point too. With the Mini 2, you're really pretty much cleared of any licensing issues, right?
In many countries, yeah.
Yeah. Michelle Ann says, "I'm a girl. Weight is more important to me." Michelle Ann, that's kind of sexist. There's lots of strong girls out there that can carry a lot of weight. I'm sure you're one of them. But the Yeah, I mean that would be interesting, because I remember Felix, when you and I flew together outside of Munich, one of the things that I was a little concerned about was the fact that I didn't have a fireproof sticker on mine.
Mm-hmm.
And so the regulations, I wouldn't need one in Germany with this, would I?
That's a good question. I think all flying models have to have the sticker.
Oh, really?
I don't. Yeah.
Even if they're under, like, there's not a weight limit.
That's a good question, because if you have a little tiny drone, you put a 1 gram sticker on it, it affects its flight characteristics.
Well, and I mean, are they going to make every person with a toy drone put one on there? I can't imagine that.
Yeah, that's a good question. And don't ask me how many times I've been controlled to see if I have a sticker on my drones, but
Have you been?
No.
Oh, never.
No, never.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
With the new rulings, remote ID in the U.S. and similar schemes over here, the EASA, that's the European FAA, they also have their own rules coming, and all that's getting delayed a couple months because of the pandemic. But it's going to be interesting to see. So for the sub 250 gram, you need a CE rating by 2023 to be able to fly it past then. So I want to know. I don't think that the CE certification is on the Mini 2 right now, because I don't think all those rules are finalized yet, and with this delay, I don't think that it was possible to get it certified. But it'd be interesting to see if in a couple of years, if DJI is going to certify, just the new drones in the future or the current lineup at the time.
Yeah, that is, and as you said, I mean, so much could change by the time it's ready.
For sure.
Jason Phillips is asking about, he has a Mini Fly More kit. I was going to type it, but I'll just answer. Honestly, if you have a Mavic Mini 1 and you have 3 batteries for it, I would just buy the Mini 2 by itself and just use the original batteries. I mean, that's me. That would save you $150. Now, again, that kind of depends on, is $150, is that but that would get you by for a while, and you could always buy more batteries. And I haven't tried a battery. One of the things I should try is a flight test, just a hover test with the 2 different batteries on the new drone and see how it does. Yeah. So, So I also had another bit of news for you, Felix, which is totally unrelated to drones. So let's watch your viewer count go way down. My daughter got accepted to ASU.
Oh, wow.
NASU. NAU.
That's
the one you went to.
That's a big difference, man. ASU's in Phoenix, NAU's in Flagstaff.
Flagstaff, the one in Flagstaff.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah, isn't that where you went?
Yeah, that's where I went.
And so we're actually going to Flagstaff in December to check it out. I've never been there. I'm excited.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, we went up there, and then after we graduated, they started renovating the whole campus, and my little sister's up there, and she says you wouldn't be able to recognize it now. So
is she there now?
Yeah, she's doing a master's right now.
Wow. Well, if will she be there next year?
Oh, you're asking me questions. You're putting me on the spot. Sorry if you're watching.
Well, I was just thinking my daughter could meet her, but anyway.
Yeah. Well,
so
we'll figure it out.
Somebody said legally register. Oh, goggles. It does not work with the goggles. Although, I don't know. It's kind of weird because I feel like DJI hasn't supported the goggles because the Mavic Air 2 doesn't work with the goggles either. And you think that because it's you'd think because it has a OcuSync 2 it could, but it doesn't.
I have a feeling that the old white goggles are kind of dropping support.
Yeah,
which makes you wonder.
I mean, especially now that the FPV goggles are so popular.
Yep.
Thank you, Eric. That's awesome. Yeah, great to have your kids accepted into school. She was also accepted at Colorado State in Fort Collins, which is a really cool town.
Wow.
So both Flagstaff and Fort Collins, I couldn't complain about either of those.
Did she decide on any of that?
No, we went to Fort Collins, but we haven't been to Flagstaff yet.
Okay, so you're just checking them out.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. Yeah, thank you, Sean. There was something else in there on the goggles. What have you been flying recently as far as FPV goes?
Oh, did you see that little teaser at the beginning?
No, I tuned in late.
All right, hold on. The teaser's a couple seconds. I'll play it
Okay.
again real quick. So if you guys are wondering what's coming up on the channel, then check this out.
Somebody whose last name is Baptista asked about the Mavic Mini 1. They'll still support it. Oh, through the trees. Around. Nice orbit. Oh, wait, I think I'm a few seconds behind you. Oh, who's was that a Corvette?
Yeah, that was a Corvette.
Who's Corvette?
An acquaintance of mine. I helped him do a promo video.
Wow.
And I shot that last week, so I figured
they have Corvettes in Germany. That's does
There's
it get
few,
roasted by the Beamers?
Yeah. Tell you what, he actually designed. He's a aeronautical engineer. He designed a air intake system, and it's out of carbon fiber. And oh man, it's just absolutely nuts.
Wow.
Absolutely
I
nuts.
love Corvettes actually. If I was going to get an American muscle car, that would be it.
That's cool. Yeah, that new
Ray
one.
Kelly is in the house. Thank you for the comment, Ray. Good to see you. I still owe Ray Kelly a drone.
You owe him a
Bugs
drone?
Well, what happened is I had a contest and he actually won, but I announced that someone else won, and I sent the drone to somebody else, and then but I had a second one very similar, but I haven't finished reviewing it yet because I've been so focused on this one. It's funny how there is a lot of pressure on having a pre-release. I mean, it sounds like I'm, what is it called? Humble bragging. I'm not. It really is. Like for the last week and a half, like pretty much all I've been doing is working on this video in my spare time. So
I hear you. And that spare time, I've done those videos full time as well, and it doesn't get much easier because you just want to. Yeah, I also put a lot of pressure on that kind of stuff, so it just depends. But hey, I can't wait to watch that video for sure. We'll post that link in there.
Johnny Ramsey says, "Can you say the name of Old Mate's channel again so I can watch his review?" Old Mate. That's going to be my new nickname. Ready, set, drone.
I just posted a link, guys. Make sure you check out Kelly's review of the DJI.
I think he was
Mini
talking
2.
about me as Old Mate.
Yeah.
Sean says his package was lost. I sent Sean. Sean, I'll tell you what was in it. Since you're here, it was a Tello with a Union Jack flag on it, and a Ready Set Drone Yeti mug, and I think some shirts and stickers and probably some other stuff. So if it's lost, I'm really bummed because it was a lot of cool stuff. And I wanted to say thank you to Sean for doing the well, both you guys actually worked on the pre-show for Spin Up. So thanks to both you guys for that. I didn't send anything to Felix. I need to send him a package, but apparently the post is not to be trusted.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, Spin Up. Did you have any feedback from your sponsors or anything like that after the fact?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, mostly feedback from people that watched. A lot of good feedback. I finally pretty much have everything out that was supposed to get shipped. There was one gentleman named Bob who lives in San Antonio, who tracked me down and called me, and he had won something, and I hadn't shipped it to him because I had emailed him multiple times to get his mailing address, and I guess it was in his spam. He checked his spam finally and saw my emails, and so I still owe him something.
As long as it didn't show up at your door.
No. Very, very nice guy, actually.
Okay, good.
But he left several messages for me, and I was like, I hope he's not mad. He wasn't mad at all. He was just like, hey, I won this thing, and I never saw anything. And I said, check your spam. And then he was like, oh. So anyway, it's all good.
That's funny. Yeah, Eric's asking about that teaser. So the first couple shots were a new FPV drone, which I will be reviewing, a Cinewhoop.
Nice.
I took that down with me to Italy on the beach as well. And the last shot of the Corvette was actually with the Mavic 2 Pro.
Oh, sweet. So can you say what kind of Cinewhoop it is?
Yeah, it's the iFlight Bumblebee HD2.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. I have the only real Cinewhoop FPV I have is the Squirt 2, and it's an analog. Is the iFlight DJI or Cadix, or is it analog?
It has a full-sized air unit in it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. And are you recording to that, or are you recording to an action camera?
No, I got a GoPro on it as well, so all kinds of weight, and I actually have the 6S version, so it's kind of nuts.
Nice. Yeah. Have you tried the Hero 9 yet?
No, so I was kind of excited, and you know how you start researching. Oh, maybe I do need the GoPro 9.
Right.
Nerds among us understand. And I watched a couple of videos and reviews, and also from the FPV perspective, because that's one of the main reasons I would buy one. And for FPV, there's not really that many improvements over an 8, for example. So
I still have a 7.
Yeah, I'm rocking the 6. The 6 black.
Yeah. Does the 6 have not what's it called? Not Rocksteady. What do they call it? There's
it does. I keep confusing the two. It does, but if you have a GoPro Hero 6 Black on version 1.6, then Real Steady, the software which you use after the fact to stabilize, it just works a lot better. Have you used Real Steady yet, Kelly?
I have not, no.
You definitely have to check it out. Basically, it kind of looks at the gyro data that is saved into the file, and then it gives you kind of sync points. And if you have a GoPro 6 in version 1.6, then it only gives you 2 of these sync points. It's a lot easier. On the newer ones, I guess there's multiples, and you have to check a bunch of them, and I don't know. So it turns out my old one works just fine.
Is Real Steady a GoPro thing, or who makes it?
It was standalone, and they just got bought out by GoPro recently, actually.
Okay, cool.
But the app works the same. The website's still the same. So,
and so there's like a data, like an XML file that's written with the.
So, it must be in the MOV or MP4 file, just wrapped in there in the wrapper. Because if I just put those video files in the folder, it takes those, analyzes it, and it can balance it out. It's quite kind of hardware resource intensive, but it makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually am not getting a 9 because I'm sure I would put it on an FPV quad and crash it right away. But the 7, I don't feel bad about crashing. Like if I do, right. that kind of would be my excuse.
Gotcha. I just saw you reviewed, what is it, the Phantom? Or what was the FPV quad you just?
GEP-RC Phantom. The most recent one was actually the Mark IV.
Mark IV, right?
I don't. It was the picture was a thumbnail of. Well, the Phantom is a toothpick drone. So the Phantom.
No, it was not toothpick. It looked like a 5-inch or 4-inch.
Yeah, that's the Mark IV. Yeah, it's great. I'm a big fan of that one. I've been flying that a lot lately. And then I also got and that one only has a Caddx Vista. I'm a huge fan. I think you've heard me talk about the GEP-RC rocket.
Yes.
Which is. It's a 4S. It's not super fast, but it's great for training, and it's also very durable, and it's also very small, so it fits through a lot of tight gaps. Like, I mean, I was flying through smaller gaps. I went to Ken Heron's What the FPV event in Tennessee. I don't know if you saw any video, but it was at this place called Minefield, which is a big metal sculpture.
I did see that. That was a minefield. It looked like a minefield, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a place to fly, and I was able to fly through a lot tighter gaps than better pilots than me because I had a ducted quad with the smaller.
There you go.
But the other one is the newbie drones. The newbie drones. This guy here. This is my only 6S, my first and only 6S.
Wow.
It's the Vivid frame, and I'm trying to think of.
Is it a bind and fly, or do you have to build it?
It's got a full. No, it was a bind and fly. They just sent me the box.
Nice.
But it's got the full air unit on it. Yeah, it's
Very
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I've got kind of a competitor also review coming in the future of your rocket. So it'll be kind of see how they are head to head.
Yeah, I mean, I think that form factor, that size is really cool, especially with the ducts on it. I saw there's a guy named Dad Random that I've been watching a bit of, and I had him on my Friday show like 2 weeks ago, and he had a rocket. No, yeah, he had a GEP-RC rocket. He had taken the ducts off of it, and actually it improved the performance. Like
are they ducts or are they more the guards? What would you call those things?
Propeller guards.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, they aren't ducts. They're actually just propeller guards. I'm misusing the term, but
no worries. Yeah, I wonder if it limits the airflow a little bit, or maybe it's just the weight savings that makes it perform a little better if you take those off.
I think weight savings and better aerodynamics.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Schmidt asked if the Mini 2 had ADSB. It does not. AirSense. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, because what? So now I'm blanking, Felix. Which app does the Mavic Air 2 use?
The Fly app.
DJI Fly, and it does have AirSense.
Yep. The US model, or maybe even the Europeans now, but at launch only the US models had ADSB.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I need to double check that, actually. Actually, I think I have the paper here that would tell me if it does or not. But I did not see any. I never got any warnings, and I obviously wasn't in a heavily trafficked area. But when I've flown the Mavic Air 2, I have received warnings.
Interesting.
Automatically. Yeah. Have you ever actually gotten one of the ADSB warnings?
No, mine does. I don't even think mine has the hardware in it. What happens if so?
You just get a little thing up in the upper left corner that says aircraft nearby, fly with caution, and
it doesn't tell you direction or altitude.
No, it just knows that. But it gives you, at least in my experience with it, it gives you enough. It gives you enough time that you can kind of look around and find it. Like at Canyon Vista Middle School, where I fly quite a bit. There are several small planes that fly around that area, and so I would hear every so often I would hear the motor of the plane. I would get the notification and hear the motor of the plane 5-10 seconds later.
Gotcha. Very cool. Yeah, you obviously when you hear scale air traffic, you make sure that you get out of the way. So it's nice to know, get a little bit more notification. Brian Smith is asking question. Sorry if you already answered. He's got the Air 2, but with all the remote ID going on, would you get the Mini 2 as well? He knows they're two different drones and have different uses.
Honestly, I wouldn't. I mean, unless you're a drone reviewer, or an overly nerdy geek like Sean. I probably wouldn't buy one if I had the other. I would not purchase the Mini 2 if I already owned the Mavic Air 2. They're very similar in a lot of ways. I mean, they really have a lot of similar things going on. And so the Mavic Air 2 is a bit more expensive, and I feel like it's just a bit more of a, it's like going from like a tiny little, what's a really small car over there, a Kia, or a, do you guys have Kias?
Yeah.
Yeah, like going from a little Kia to maybe like a BMW Series 3.
Yeah.
Or a bigger Volkswagen or something. I don't know. It's just the Mavic Air 2 definitely feels more solid. Now, if your issue is to get out of if your issue is to get out of registration, then go with the Mini. But I'll put my number on there.
For sure.
Hey, Droning On is in the house.
Hey, his stream must have ended. He Ash invited me to be on his stream, and I said, "Oh, I'd love to, but I'm planning on doing my own." Hey, Ash, how's it going?
Well, it's funny. You texted me about this, 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah. And
I was actually thinking about doing one, and so I kind of mulled it over and decided, it'd just be easier to get on Felix's. So, this worked out.
Yeah, we haven't chatted in a while, so I'm super glad you jumped on and you had the time, man.
What time is it over there?
We're coming up at 3 a.m.
Oh, geez.
Ash, Sweden, are you the same time zone as me? Should also be coming up at 3 a.m. He's back in bed already.
I think, yeah. Well, I'm super happy to answer all the questions. As I said, I hope your folks will go out and check out the video that I've put out. It does have tons of footage. So if you want to know if your main goal is to know what the footage looks like from it, in wind, etc., that definitely answers that.
Make sure you guys check out Kelly's video and definitely bookmark it. Just post it in the chat again. A question about the LED in the front. I had that question too. What is that for?
I have no idea. You want to see it on? Here, let me turn it on for you.
Must be a status thing then, a status LED, because it can't be bright enough to light up the scene or anything.
No, I think it might also be orientation, just to tell you, well, because there is a light in the back too. But the light, one interesting thing. So you were talking earlier about the guy who bought the thing at Best Buy.
Yeah, Manuel.
Made the mistake, or they made the mistake. And you know this, Felix, is you have to be whitelisted to use the app. And by whitelisted, I mean they have to have your email address. Like you can't just download the app and use it until it's released.
No, usually you get a special beta too. So
yeah, exactly. There's that light. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks cool. It kind of pulses. I also realized after I'd finished the video that there's a piece of grass or something on there.
That's how you know the drone was used.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, there's the back. I had a few issues with this guy. I had to reconnect it to my controller, pretty much every time I flew. Every time I flew and turned on the controller and started everything up. Huh? It actually would see the controller, but the app wouldn't see it. So when and I think that's, again, it's because it was beta software. But so I would I could fly it. I could spin up the props and fly it just fine, but I couldn't connect to the app until I actually went into the app and said connect to the drone, and then held down the power button for a second to put it into bind mode, and then it would bind. Then it was fine. So hopefully that was just a beta thing.
Yeah, I'm sure with software that is fixable.
Yeah.
So you got a production in a retail box.
Yeah, I'll show you the box. Here is the box. I assume this is the final box. Yeah, I think so. It's got all the goop on the side.
Yeah, that is the famous box we've been seeing at Best Buy shelves for the last week.
I have to tell you too that when I saw that guy had it, it was really a bummer, quite honestly, for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, cat's kind of out of the bag. I mean, whatever. It's. I don't want to sound ungrateful or whiny or whatever, but I was just like, oh man, I'm working so hard on this video, and now most people are going to know most of this stuff, So
yeah, that's one of the reasons I think that I don't think this was a secret marketing ploy by Best Buy and DJI together. I think somebody just screwed up and they got put on the shelves or sold too early.
I mean, yeah, you think about how many moving parts there are to this thing. It's pretty amazing that actually this doesn't happen more often, or that there aren't more. And also it's kind of funny, Felix, because I've always wondered if DJI is if they pay attention to all the rumor videos and stuff, and if I've never really gotten a sense as if they like them or they don't, because obviously they create hype and buzz, but at the same time they also spread some misinformation and maybe. Like people leaking. I mean, it's called leaking for a reason. I've always wondered that. Is it something? But obviously, I mean, they must not dislike them too much. In that you do a lot of them, and you get a lot of views for them, and you still have received pre-release stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I guess it all depends. Obviously, if they send you one early, then you can't be doing rumors and leaks about it, because you could claim that you got the information elsewhere, but why would you ruin that relationship? But I mean, I've heard of people posting their videos early or kind of showing it in the background in their vlogs, and then DJI told them, hey, you need to take that down.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, you sign an NDA, promising to keep it. They're trusting you with their intellectual property and their live. I feel like if you agree to do it, you've got to be pretty good with it. One nice thing, honestly, about flying this thing as a pre-release is it looks just like the old one. So I wasn't worried. Like in cases where you have a drone that looks completely different, and people who know drones might walk up to you and say, "What is that?"
You need to keep going now.
yeah, exactly. But this one just it's just a Mavic Mini.
Yeah,
nothing to see here. Keep on going. It's not the droid you're looking for.
Not the droid you're looking for. Let's see. I finally have some time to look at the.
Hey, Ash.
chat.
Ash got a 20. I guess that's Swedish kroners. Thank you.
Oh.
Not that I get it, but.
Thanks, man. I think that might be the highest super chat to date. I have to Google that.
Really?
I'm gonna have to Google that in a second. Here, let's see.
Yeah. How much is a Swedish kroner worth? Or is it a kroner? I think it's called a kroner.
$2.27.
So is that like $45?
No, sorry. 20 Swedish krona is 2.27.
Oh,
apparently.
okay.
I didn't know that the currency was relatively weak compared to the dollar. Thank you, Ash. Appreciate it, man.
Is that your highest one ever?
I think I got $5 at one point or something. Oh, Michelle Ann. Is that Canadian dollars? You guys are too kind. This is not a call to get super chats, but I obviously appreciate everything that you guys do.
You know what? I hate being in second place, so there you go.
Oh, thank you, man. All right, guys.
Look what Ash started. That was pretty good. That was
good. Ash, I won't forget this. All right, let's go back to the notes here. Guys, if you haven't already, I need you guys to bookmark this video and watch it after we're done here. But we're having a good time.
I don't know if you watch Original Dobo much, but he has a show on Tuesdays called Drones and Brews.
I watched the one. I follow him on Twitter, and he said, "Oh, I'm so hungover." I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." And then I looked at the video, and Kelly was there, and I watched some of it. You held your own, man.
Well, yeah, I've been with you at the Hofbrauhaus, man. You know, I can handle it. Yeah, I think it was 5. I definitely have the record according to him in one show. So it was a long show though.
Very cool.
Eric put in $10 as well. So
wow. Thank you guys. Much appreciated. You guys are fantastic. The channel's it's going places. This is cool. Very cool group of viewers, and I like how the names you don't just see in one channel, you see them in all the other channels as well. And so super grateful for the community. That is awesome. Ken is hilarious. What happened to the music? So the Mini 2 costs more than the Mini 1 did at launch, does it not?
It is, what did it say? $499. $499.
I think it was $449 for the non-combo.
$449 right? And $299 or $399. Oh gosh, I have the prices here somewhere. It does, and I would say, do you think that there might be some tariff issues going on?
That's
at least
in the
US
question, because one of the rumors was that they're going to be 12% more expensive. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are 12% more than the last time around. But look, let's face it, you've got OcuSync 2.0. You got that. You get so many more features this time around. I think it's fair.
Yeah, a slightly higher price would be, in my opinion, justified. Yeah, so it's I'm gonna
switch to the browser real quick here. You guys can see the specs. Officially, we got single shot, JPEG, and RAW photos, automatic exposure bracketing, 3 frames, sphere panoramas, 180-degree panoramas, and wide panoramas. Those are fantastic. And of course, you have the video resolutions and 100 megabits per second. And the zoom range, the dynamic digital zoom that Kelly was talking about earlier. In 4K mode, you get 2x zoom, 2.7K mode, 3x, and full HD 4x. You got the droning.
Yeah, and you can definitely see it. Like I said, I was in 2x for part of the video. A couple of times, especially around the trees, you can see some kind of noise in it.
Mm-hmm.
I was also going to mention on the spherical, the panoramas, there's 3 panoramas in my video, and they were spherical. I didn't do the 180.
Very cool. Yeah, with those panoramas in Final Cut, for example, you can load it up as a VR frame, and then you can kind of move around in it after the fact. It's pretty cool. I did that for the Mavic Air 2 review.
Oh wow! I hadn't tried that, like with it actually with goggles on, or can you move around with your phone too? And
so I just loaded up in the video editor. So then when I played the video back, it kind of does this weird kind of flying around, the zoom out thing.
Cool.
That you can see in the Mavic Air 2 intro. Yeah.
Have you played much with 360 cameras?
You know, I'm still kind of on the fence. I haven't purchased one personally, but the Insta360 with the 1-inch sensor is kind of interesting to me. I I feel like needs to be maybe one more revision for the image quality to get there. They're not cheap, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and what you can do actually, you can buy the now the 360 with the 1-inch, the Insta360 with the 1-inch sensor is just an action camera. It's not a 360 camera, but it doesn't it have like a 360 mod to it or something? Yeah. So there's
okay.
I have one, and you can pull out. There's 3 parts. There's a battery on the bottom, like an orange part. Then there's kind of a guts part, like the processor and stuff, and then there's the actual lens. So the 360 lens has a lens on both sides. You can pull that out and put in the 1-inch lens, which only has a lens on one side. Gotcha. So it's basically it's an action camera with a 1-inch sensor.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's been a while since I looked at them, but that was one of my draws. Was 1-inch sensor.
Have you played with the Insta360 Go?
No, that was that's kind of the affordable option.
It's really it was something I really didn't think I needed. As a matter of fact, there's a couple of shots. There's 2 shots in my video towards the end that are real quick where I actually mounted the 360 Go on top of this, and you can see the props and you can see the front of it. I actually mounted it. I used FPV straps, the straps you use for the batteries.
LiPo straps.
So I used the LiPo straps, and then actually, no, it wasn't Sunrise. I'm trying to. Somebody in the chat actually printed a 3D printed thing for me, and then I put a little piece of tape under the back so it was slightly tipped forward, so you could see the drone itself and the props. So
with the Insta360 Go, isn't that the one with only 5 minutes battery life or something, or recording?
Correct.
Or
yeah, and it used to only have, like when it first came out, it only had 1 minute, and so then they upgraded the firmware. It gets really hot.
Wow.
Is the problem. It's really small. Yeah, it was a heat thing. And so if you're flying with it, it's okay because of the airflow. But if you try to do 5 minutes of time with it and it's just sitting there, it will overheat and shut down. They actually call it FPV mode in Insta360.
So then can you record again once it cools off, or do you have to charge the battery again?
No, you can record again once it you just basically shut it off and then turn it back on. So nice. It's also got, did I bring it in? I'm trying to think if I have it here. Because I actually had it at work today. I was using it for something, but it has a case that is battery, so you drop it in and it just charges, has little charge points.
Okay.
What it's great for is very small FPV quads. Like you can put it on some of the Tiny Hawks and it does okay. Sunrise Water Media says FPV mode overheating is a feature. So you can put it on the Tiny Hawks and it does okay. But what I like actually is I like the fact that you can actually see the quad with it. I think that's kind of a cool perspective.
For sure. Kind of that fighter jet mode where you're kind of flying around and you can always see the quad. That's way cool.
Like a video game where you could see the nose of the plane or whatever you're flying, or the spaceship.
For sure. Droning on.
Random Zombie. That's a great screen name.
Eric says the 360 Go is sweet. Yeah, one of these days when they're on sale, I'll snag one and play around with it.
Well, and you know what would, I'll tell you what would be cool. What is your son name's Luke? Lucas?
Yeah, Luke.
If you gave it to him, I guarantee you he'd put it in his mouth, and you could tie a string to it so he doesn't swallow it or something. But I mean, just think of that cool footage, like the stabilized footage of a baby like chewing on it. It's really unique.
I'll run it by his mom.
I actually when we were after spin up, we went out to Sean Oz's dad lives outside of Austin and has some property, so we went out there to fly FPV, and several people that were flying with me asked me, like I went and retrieved their drones because I'm a nice guy when they crashed them, and they said, hey, there's something on the lens, can you wipe it off? And I just went and they had their goggles on so they could see it, digital. So that's what I imagine this footage would look like.
That's funny. So I have a question for you. If you have ND filters for the original Mini, will they fit on the 2?
That is a great question. I don't know the answer.
Because they kind of go around, they spring around the back.
Similar. Yeah, I don't know. Does the ND filter just go over? I mean, they really do. They look like they would work.
Yeah,
Does
so
the ND
it kind of just
filter
snaps over the
top?
Hold on, let me see. Contrast. It kind of just snaps. That goes over the back of the lens. It kind of just snaps on.
So it doesn't rotate on or screw on.
No. It just kind of.
Random Zombie says they work.
Oh, cool.
So
Very
that's
cool.
kind of cool. Yeah. So the props are reusable. The battery's reusable. That's reusable. I mean,
you know what I would be interested in on the props? They always write 4 numbers. The first 2 are the diameter, and the second 2 are the pitch.
Okay, so actually, well, it might be too much trouble. In my video, I have such a good macro shot of the props that you can actually read the numbers in it.
Okay.
But let me see if I can actually see.
So the mini one is 4726, so 4.7 inches diameter and 2.6 inches.
That's on the original?
Yeah.
This one is... Do you want me to get my glasses? Hold on.
Sure.
Oh, you know what? Actually, Hera, I have a giant... Can you see over there? I have a giant magnifying glass. Let me go. I'm going to unplug my headphones. Can you hear me still?
What a cool office. Yeah.
All right.
Look at this, guys. You don't get analysis like this anywhere else.
4726.
Okay. Same. 4726.
4726 FM. C2 4726 FM.
Okay, so on the mini one, they start with A, and then it's A1 or A2, depending on the motor. Side, and also 4726. And here on the mini, the old mini just says F, and the new ones say FM, so that's interesting. Or maybe it's forward motor?
No, so my old mini actually starts with F. It says F3.
Interesting. Mine say A. Must be batch numbers or something.
Yeah, this says F3. This is the original mini. F3 4726F, as in Felix.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Very cool. All right, guys. What other questions do you have for Kelly, the only YouTuber online right now with the DJI Mini 2?
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of curious. I think Russ from 51 Drones might have got one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been a little sidetracked, but let's take a look if Russ posted a video.
Yeah. I mean, I saw
DJI Mini 2. Yep.
Yep.
I have to watch that too. Very cool.
And let's see if Aldrin got one.
Oh, I can almost guarantee. I think.
Well,
iPhondo.
Yep. Aldrin has one. He's killing it. 3,000 views already. Damn you, Aldrin.
iPhondo 2.4 thousand views.
Yeah. Of course, he got one. But he always does good videos, so
yeah.
worth watching.
Very cool.
I'm
cool. Yeah. I'm glad that you had a decent amount of time to test it out and make the video too. That's nice.
Yeah. The only bummer I had was that it arrived. We took a trip to San Antonio and went to a couple of really cool, pretty places, and I was hoping I would get it before that trip. But it was like the day after we got back. So
yeah. Supra 2008 is asking, anyone know what's a safe cooldown for the motors before you fly again with the spare batteries? Yeah, it all depends on where you're flying. If you're flying in the desert in Arizona and it's summer, might make sense to let them cool off. But if you're flying, winter temps, then I don't think you have to wait.
Yeah, that's I agree completely. Living in Texas, in the summertime, I am conscious of the heat, but like this time of year, I'm not at all.
And it's not just the motors. I think the processors and the flight controllers and all that inside, those things get hot too. So and definitely, I would think that you don't realize it, but I think when you go up higher, it actually gets hotter. The sun is hotter because you're not under shade. I mean, like, is that actually true? I mean, the air temperature goes down, but the sun is more intense. That is an excellent question because you definitely sunburn quicker if you're in altitude.
Yeah.
Huh. Not quite sure. What I did notice is that the DJI Mini 2 was tested at up to 4,000 meters on the spec sheet. If that's the leaked spec sheet or whatever had that, I assume
4,000 meters or 4,000 feet?
4,000. So they went up.
Oh, 12,000 feet.
Yeah. Went up the mountain somewhere and flew it there. Because one of the complaints for the original Mavic Mini, I guess if you were to complain, was that at altitude it didn't have a lot of power, and you had to do full throttle just to get it to fly sometimes or whatever. And that's just with the density altitude.
So, do you know? I don't know if you're familiar with Loveland Pass.
Yes,
Pass in Colorado.
I've been through.
So
there.
it's on the Continental Divide. It's about 12. It's like 11,997 feet. It's almost 12,000 feet. So when I was with Sean, Oz, and Ed Ricker back in February, feels like a long time ago, but it was February of this year. We went up to Loveland Pass with a Mavic Mini and tried to fly it, and the altitude wasn't the problem. It was the 50-mile-an-hour wind gust that was the problem.
Bummer, yeah.
It was so windy that it just, yeah. Actually, I think Sean has a video of that on his channel, so it's pretty funny. Actually, we just took off, and then the thing just got blown by the wind, and we're all chasing it and screaming like, it was funny.
It would be an interesting test though, if you ever have a day that is not windy up there.
Yeah. I mean, it was February too, so it was -5 Fahrenheit. So whatever that works out to in Celsius, that's really cold. In Celsius. Yeah. Yeah, it was cold and windy, and for some reason these guys decided they wanted to go to Loveland Pass and try to fly the Mavic Mini.
Maybe FPV drones.
Okay. Yeah.
What did you notice a big difference in sport mode? The speed.
It's funny actually. No. It's pretty zippy in I forget what it's called now. GPS mode or
normal mode?
What is it be? Position mode.
Position mode.
Yeah, hold on. Let me grab the remote because it has 3. Where did I put it? Oh, they've changed it because it used to be attitude, ADDI mode, and position mode, and then tripod mode.
I miss the good old ADDI mode actually.
Now they call it Cine, normal, and sport. So.
Yeah, so no longer tripod because on the Mavic Air 2 it's tripod.
Yeah, now it's called Cine.
Interesting.
Okay. Cine, normal, and sport. But it is very zippy in normal. So I imagine it's also very zippy in. It is very zippy in sport.
Let's do a comparison. So this is the Mavic Air 2 remote, the front of it. The Mini 2 looks the same.
Yeah, you got your spots down here to. Oh no, you got one wheel and one button.
Yeah.
Same device that pulls out.
Your jog dial does not push down, correct?
Jog dial does not push down. Nope.
Yeah,
Yes, you're correct.
And on the front, you've got the function button and then the little switcheroo button. Yeah, it's the same, pretty much.
And then, yeah.
Don't want to focus.
Yeah, is mine in focus? Okay.
This is the best part. It's gonna be the thumbnail.
Yeah, and then you were saying that these lights are green.
Yeah.
And those are white.
These are white.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, and then I do love the fact that the sticks come out. One thing I do want to double check too is if the sticks are cross compatible, because actually I don't know if I've told you this before.
You ranted, yeah.
Yeah. There are certain quads where the sticks are like they're female connectors on the stick and male on the
Mavic 2 Pro was the opposite of these.
Yeah.
The smart controllers like this, but I don't know if these fit the smart controller either.
Why aren't they all the same? I mean, come on, honestly.
That is a good question.
They're not making money by by selling replacement sticks. So.
I mean, maybe we don't know.
It's like actually their profits are way up. Our replacement sticks are selling like hotcakes.
But have you ever dropped one of those little sticks out in the forest on a forest floor?
Yeah, I think I did that in Bavaria. So yeah, it's no fun.
Let's see. Range test. Sunrise Water Media is asking if you're going to be doing any kind of range test comparing the two. video breakup distance?
I should because I should because they get 1 million views. I shouldn't because they get lots of hate. You know. So.
Have you ever gotten a call from the local FAA office for any of your videos?
No. The only times I've done, I did a really crappy range test on the Mini 1, and it got a lot of hate, and kind of rightly so. I had actually crashed it during testing and had broken the gimbal, so the whole flight was really shaky like this. And then I was up in like north of Cedar Park, which is kind of out in the sticks a bit, and I had my buddy Vinny drive my car and actually line of sight it while I was flying it. But I still got a lot of grief. And then the other range tests I've done have been like out in the middle of nowhere country, which those I feel better about those, of course, honestly. Yeah. But I don't know. That's one of those things. I mean, it is breaking the rules. You're not supposed to fly it past line of sight. So So I don't know.
With the Mini 1, you're gonna get to the edge of the range pretty quick, and you can just fly the Mini 2 to the same place and show that you can do it to 360 and no issues at all,
Yeah. I mean, I think people already know that. What people want to see is they want to see how far it will go. Just like if you just push it as far as it'll go, how far does it go before you lose signal? And the theoretical in a perfect world, I think, is 10 kilometers on this one.
FCC mode is 10K. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a long way. That's 6 miles. And then do you is it going to come back to you safely? Because
is it enough battery power?
Yeah, does it have enough battery? Yeah, I mean this thing goes for a long time, and I guess you could do the math. It goes 35 miles an hour, in top speed.
Drone A leaves Austin, Texas at 9:35 p.m. Drone B.
This is like a high school
SAT test.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. That's an excellent question. I may or may not do a range test.
Peter McKinnon also posted one. You're in the same club as Peter McKinnon, Kelly.
Peter McKinnon. No, I don't know about that. I'm much better looking than him.
He did cut his hair though. Eric is asking, the button is different. Which button? Eric, which button were you referring to?
Return to home button? Here. The return to home button has a little pad and an H on it and partly red. Yeah, I think this one has red on the return to home button.
So there's a pause also. So it's pause and return to home.
Oh, you're right. That is pause. And then power. Yep. Good.
That's the same. I remember that from the app for the quick shots. You can pause the quick shots with that. So since it doesn't have obstacle avoidance on the sides and you're doing those quick shots and there comes a tree, you can yourself hit the pause button.
Wow. I'm going to put that in a video. Credit to Felix.
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant. It's funny because I was actually, when you go back and watch my video, you will see I was intentionally in a very wide open place when I was doing quick shots, because I have had them kind of like go off on me before, and because this doesn't have sensors, I didn't want it to be too bad.
You're especially more careful for one of those pre-release reviews.
Yeah. Just you can't get spare parts very easily at that point. But it was really it was fun. I got a comment from it on the video from Mel at 400 AGL talking about flying the Mini and the Mini 2 side by side, which actually that was pretty cool. I was able to I was by myself and I was able to put them pretty close together, and then they just both hovered there, so I could get a picture of both of them.
Very cool. Somebody's asking Mini 2 or Air 2. He's asking many times. Yes, you don't have to copy and paste it. Jeez.
Yeah.
Can you put people in timeout? You can put user in timeout. It's like
yeah, user in timeout. So Saruba Vartak, I would say it depends on what you want to do with it and how much money you have, because if you want to do more professional looking stuff, and also like if you were going to do anything where you were trying to get paid for it, i.e. what am I trying to say, like a wedding or a real estate gig, I think you need at least an Air 2.
Yeah. You're not going to be shooting weddings with a Mini, even though the Mini 2 I guess it
Well,
depends. It depends on what class you're
although
in.
the how quiet it is actually kind of nice. So
Yeah, you can put the prop guards on. You can probably fly into the church or out of the church even.
right. Yeah, right up over them. You know, have the camera tilting down, and you see the bride's hair kind of tussle a little bit.
The officiant gets closer to the mic because the wind noise.
Right. And the bride's father is scowling at you. Who hired this guy?
Do you take what?
Gordon Chase asks if the Mini 2 controller fits a standard iPad. That is a great question.
The answer is going to be no.
I'm going to say no. It probably won't even fit an iPad Mini, honestly.
Nope. It'll fit the large iPhones, and then there's adapters that you can put in here that will hold an iPad. So it's just a matter of kind of rigging it together. But there are solutions to get iPad Minis and iPads onto these remotes as well. So you have to go aftermarket.
And you know, it would be nice. It would be nice, really, if they did make this compatible with the smart controller. I would love that. You have a smart controller, Felix. I know.
Yeah.
And I love flying with the smart controller. It really, you know, you don't have to tie up your phone with it. It's the bomb.
For sure. And you know, the Mavic Air 2 update for the smart controller took a little while to get out, and that's fine. We were grateful that it's here. And that first flight with the smart controller, you're like, oh wow, okay, I remember this.
Yeah. That's exactly. I had it bound, and I don't know if you know this. It was news to me, but you know, if you bind it to two drones, so I have it on my Mavic 2 and my Mavic Air 2. When you turn it on, you select which one you want to fly, and just pick it and fly.
So I don't know if it downloaded an update recently on mine actually. I tried choosing either the Mavic 2 Pro or the Mavic Air 2, and it wouldn't find the other drone. I had to like rebind it manually. Have you ever had that?
Well, you know what? Yes, actually, I think you're right. I think you still have to do. So disregard what I just said. But it isn't a hard process. I mean, it happened like super quickly.
But I think with that aircraft management screen, you should not have to rebind every time, though, right? Or is that too convenient?
So I just flew the Mavic Pro, Mavic 2 Pro today for the first time in a while, and I had originally had my smart controller bound to that quad, and then I bound it to the Mavic Air 2, and then today I had to rebind it to the Mavic Mavic 2 Pro. But I wonder if that was just because I haven't done it in a long time, and you know, updates have happened.
Yeah.
I really what I need to do is bind to one, bind to the other, and then try going back to the first one and see. Right. You know, that would be a good test to do.
That is a test we still have to do. Eric Boff says he'd fly into the church with an Inspire.
That's right, and maybe like rose petals or rice or something dropping out of it as it goes.
All right, Eric does the Inspire, and I'll fly in with a 6S FPV quad right after.
Right. Hey, you said you wanted it fast.
Yeah. If you're doing an FPV shoot, make sure you don't charge by the second for the final product.
Right. Because it'll be quick. You better shoot it 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I'm gonna hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button yet,
thank you.
We got 97 watching and 68 likes. So let's see if we can get 97. 90,
thank you guys very much.
We had 100 watching. Oh, there it goes, skyrocketing.
Is it really? Wait, I don't have my stats. Where are they? You're just gonna have to tell me.
It's not really skyrocketing. Yeah, it's up
as
to
long
70.
as it's not going down.
Yeah, it's not going down. It's all good.
Thank you guys for your support of the DJI Mini 2 launch and live review with Kelly from Ready Set Drone. This is a
Sean
first.
From Geeksvana.
True, Sean from Geeksvana was on for the pre-review. Very grateful for those guys.
I told Felix I couldn't get on until the time because I wouldn't be able to hold my tongue.
Right, and that's not fair to you or to DJI because a deal's a deal.
Deal's a deal, man.
A deal's a deal. All right. If you guys have any last minute questions, let us know in the chat. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up. And of course, make sure that after this video, you guys watch this video right here. I know that's what I'm gonna be doing.
Yeah, baby. When are you coming to Texas, Felix?
You know, we were just hoping to travel for Christmas around here to visit family, and everything's going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Everything's going in the wrong direction, but
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see when we make it over there next time.
Billy Latoris said, "Ever been to Boston?" I have been to Boston. I liked Boston.
I have not. I haven't even been to New York, only the airport many times.
Yeah, it's kind of a stopover. LaGuardia or JFK?
JFK.
So. JFK is a big hub for JetBlue. I remember one time, actually, I was flying from Syracuse back to Austin, and I had to go through JFK, and I went into the main lobby of the JetBlue terminal, or the where the food court is and everything, and Pink, I think it was Pink, maybe it was, I think it was Pink, was doing a concert in there.
Wow.
Very strange.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Somebody asked if the FPV goggles, or what FPV goggles to use with the Mini 2. None out of the box. What you could do is, when we get smart controller support, you can stick any kind of
HDMI.
That thing has HDMI, so you can stick that into any goggles and fly with that. But there's no goggles out of the box.
Have you ever tried? So this is USB-C. Have you ever tried using USB-C to HDMI?
Oh well, with like do they call those OTG adapters?
On the go.
No, I
it's
haven't.
well, so like if you have a laptop that has USB-C, like the newer Macs only have USB-C. So if you want to get HDMI out of it, you can put that. I doubt it would work. I mean, it would have to work.
Does it have to have Thunderbolt on a Mac to do that though, or is that a USB standard? I wonder.
It's USB now because I have a PC. I have a PC with USB-C and a Mac with USB-C, and that connector works for both of them. But yeah, dongles.
Dongles.
Dongles. My favorite word.
Dongle life.
Dongle. Speaking of dongles, I gotta go. I don't know why that sounds dirty and funny at the same time, but it's not.
And we've both been invited to visit Quebec.
Hey, Michelle Ann, our strong girl.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. She's been here the whole time.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate every one of you guys in the chat. Fantastic conversations in the chat. Of course, thank you to Kelly from Ready Set Drone for stopping by and sharing this plethora of information. Of course, make sure you guys check out his video. The link is here in the chat. And I can't wait for the next time, Kelly.
Me too, man. Thanks for being on.
No worries.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you, Kelly. I will let you go here. Skype.
Spark.
Spark. Kelly, hold on a second. All right, guys. Thank you for watching and tuning in for this special coverage of the DJI Mini 2 launch and review with Kelly from Ready Set Drone. Make sure you guys check out his channel and the review. And I can't wait to see you guys in future videos. Until next time, see ya.